right, let's get started. Today, lesson 15.2. We are working on multiplying by unit form, and we're going to use unit form to multiply a decimal number by a one-digit whole number. You see here that we have 4 times 9/10. So we want to start with estimation to think about, well, 9/10 is pretty close to 1, right? So 4 times 9/10 is just going to be a little less than 4 because it's kind of similar to multiplying 4 times 1, right? So now let's think about it in unit form, okay? So we could say 4 times 9/10, right? And that would give us a total of tenths. So 4 times 9 is 36 tenths. Now, what is 36 tenths? About tenths, right? It's named by the tenths, so the 6 must be in the tenths place. If the 6 is in the tenths place, then the 3 is in the ones place, right? Think about your place value chart. If you need to go look at one, get one and look at it. So now we have 3 and 6/10, and this is standard form. And is that a reasonable answer? Think about what our estimate here was. 4 times 1 was about 4, a little less than 4. 3 and 6/10 is a little less than 4. Okay, so let's try our next one. 1300ths times 3. And remember, we can do 3 times 1300ths or 1300ths times 3. Let's think of an estimate. 1300ths of 3. Seems like that's going to be a pretty small number, right? Because this was 9/10 of 4, so it's going to be almost 4. 1300ths of 3 seems pretty small. So let's think about that. Okay, let's think about 3 times 1300ths. Okay, maybe you know what 3 times 13 is. Maybe you need to write it down. You can think about 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 1 is 3. So that would be 39 hundredths, and that would be 39 hundredths. You can put the 0 in the front there if you wanted to, right? It's a pretty small number. It's much less than 1, right? Because we're taking 13 hundredths of 3. So 39 hundredths. Okay, let's try the next one. Using unit form to multiply. Now we have 3 times 2 and 13 hundredths. So we could say 3 times 2, you know, 3 times 2 is 6, right? And then we could say 3 times 13 hundredths, and we already have that, right? We already said that it would be 39 hundredths, so that would give us 6 and 39 hundredths. Yeah? Okay. Now, what if we did 3 times 2,130? Pretty close, right? To 2 and 13 hundredths. But you can see that it's been multiplied by 1,000, right? Because 2 times 1,000 is 2,000. Yeah? So let's think about that. 6,000, 2,000 times 3, right? 100 times 3 is 3. 30 times 3 is 90. 6,390. Okay, so here we have 6 and 39 hundredths, and here we have 6,390. And you can see that this one is 1,000 more because the number was 1,000 more, right? Okay, very good. So now we're going to think about using unit form and vertical form. Okay, and I think I have another question loaded here for you. 5 times 4 and 3/10. Let's start with an estimate. 5 times 4, right? 3/10 makes it pretty close to 4. So 5 times 4 would be 20. So I'm thinking that my answer is going to be close to 20. And how can we rename 4 and 3/10 in unit form using the smallest unit? That would be tenths, right? So that would be 43 tenths. So let's do 43 tenths times 5. Yeah, 43 tenths times 5. Okay, think about that. Okay, and we can also do it vertically. Let me grab my pencil here, my pen. 43 tenths. I better put the T there so we don't forget that that's tenths times 5, right? 3 times 5 is 15. And we got to carry the 1 over. And 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1. So remember, you're adding this 1 on. It came over from the tenths. So then you have 21, right? So we have 215 tenths, remembering that that means that our 5 is in the tenths place. So that would put our 1 in the ones place and our 2 in the tens place. So that would be 21 and 5 tenths. See if I can write on there now. 21 and 5 tenths. Yes. Okay. So that's just another way to use unit form. Sorry, I got to move my book. That's another way to use unit form to multiply. Okay, and how do our estimates help us to check that we have the correct place value units in the product, right? So think about that. 5 times 4, we said had to be close to 20, and then we know that it's close to 20. So we always want to estimate when we're multiplying so that we make sure that we're close to the right answer. If we said something like 215, then we would know, no, 5 times 4, it's not going to be 200. Okay. Let's do one more. Let's do 9 times 48 hundredths. 9 times 48 hundredths. Okay. So you can see that that would be 48 hundredths times 9. You can do it either way, right? And then you can write it out 48 times 9. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 4 is 36 plus 7. Okay. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 43. So 432 hundredths, right? So that would be 4 and 32 hundredths for our answer. Now, does that make sense? Let's see. Let me write on the Google Doc. There we go. 4 and 32 hundredths. So 9 times 48 hundredths, that's about 5 tenths, right? 5 tenths. And 5 tenths is about half. Would you say that 4 and 32 hundredths is about half of 9? Yeah, so be careful when you're multiplying by a decimal that's less than 1, right? That means that your answer is going to be less than what it was, because it's like saying, what is 48 hundredths of 9? What is half of 9? Okay, so that's why our answer is going to be smaller, right? Okay, we're starting to build that brain. Excellent job. Oh, the answer to your joke, the second word is they. Why are multiplication and division always right? The second word is they. Aloha. See you on the next video.